This is Golden Kamuy, a historical action-adventure seinen series set in 1904. Not necessarily set in 1904. It begins in 1904, and I don't know what year it jumps to after that. I assume like 1905, since the character is basically the same age with just longer hair. Anywho, I've seen the manga around for a while. I've been pretty interested in it, just haven't started reading it. Now that the anime's out, I'll probably watch it. Actually, I'll definitely watch it, and we'll see how people say the anime compares to the manga, and I'll see if I should read the manga. So it starts out in 1904, Meiji year 37, on some hill where the Japanese and Russians fought during the Russo-Japanese War. A bunch of Japanese soldiers run up on an entrenched line of Russians with machine guns. Most of them get mowed down, all but one, in fact. One makes it to the trenches because this is an anime and that's how that works. And he fucking goes ape shit once he's in there. And he declares, "I am the immortal Sugimoto." Now Sugimoto is back in Japan. His hair is longer. He's panning in a river for gold, somewhere in the Hokkaido region. It says near Otaru, but I don't know where Otaru is, so the best they told me was somewhere in the Hokkaido region. Listening to some drunk old dude talk about Sugimoto's rumored accolades and questioning how he doesn't have a medal if all of the things he's done is true. If it's true that he would get up the next day after grave injuries and shrug off muskets and knives and cannonballs and nothing could kill him, why doesn't he have a medal? And he says, I'd have a medal if I didn't half kill a superior officer I didn't like. But he's painted for gold in a river in Hokkaido. He needs money. The old man tells him a story of post Meiji Restoration when the Ainu, native people to the Hokkaido region, I think they're not necessarily Japanese. I have no idea how integrated they are today or if they're even still a people today. But 100 years ago, they were a people. And apparently they were a problem because there was somewhat of a gold rush at the beginning of the Meiji Restoration, or at the beginning of the finishing of the Meiji Restoration. And the Ainu hoarded gold, and they forbid Japanese to hunt deer and salmon on their land, and they stole Japanese lands. Don't exactly know how that works one way or the other. If the Japanese moved into Hokkaido and then the Ainu were like, no, this is Ainu land, or what have you. If the Ainu needed to spread out because food was getting scarce and they moved into Japanese land. Either way, there's some tension between the Ainu and the Japanese. And basically, one day when the Ainu were moving a bunch of gold, some Japanese dude stumbles upon them and kills all of them. And he hides all the gold, and then he's caught and he's put in prison for, I don't know, probably because he wouldn't give up the gold, because he wants to tell his comrades of where the gold is, and they don't specify who his comrades are, but he can't send out a letter because the prisoners will just read it, and he can't have any visitors because the prisoners would just, or the guards would just read the letter, or the guards would just detain his visitors and question them the same way they're questioning this dude. So eventually they cut his Achilles tendon so he can't leave, and he gets all the death row inmates together, and he tattoos a code on every single death row inmate that only his comrades can decipher. And the thing is, to decipher the full code and find the treasure, you need every single death row inmate. So eventually the guards get greedy and take the death row inmates out to use their skin as the code. Then the death row inmates use this chance to escape, kill all the guards, and run off. And now that's it. That's the end of the story. And at this point, Sugimoto is asking the old man some questions, and at one point he turns around and then he turns back and the old man's asleep. The old drunk man is asleep. And Sugimoto sits near the fire and he kind of falls asleep and has a flashback to the war when his buddy was like, hey man, because you're known as the immortal Sugimoto, when I don't make it out of this, you gotta take care of my wife, dude. She's got bad eyes, they're getting worse all the time. You could go to Hokkaido and pan for gold, and that's what I want to do, but if I can't, can you? You're my best friend. And he's like, "Don't talk like that, man." And then he looks back, and he's just talking to a corpse. And the corpse like sinks into a pool of blood, and this was a dream, a nightmare. And when he wakes up, the old man has got his gun and he's pointing it at him, and the Sugimoto grabs the gun and puts it up against his chest, and he's like, "You want to see how immortal I really am?" And then he fucking knocks the guy out with a rock, or he fucking clocks him with a rock. The guy he isn't made unconscious. And Sugimoto takes the gun and unsafeties it, and he's like, "Now I can shoot you whenever I want." And the guy runs off. And then Sugimoto's like, "I need to catch him. if what he said is true, and if he really wants me to kill me that bad, because I know it, because he got drunk and told me. Because the first thing the old man says when he wakes up, when Sugimoto wakes up, is, "I've told you too much." That's the only thing he said. I need to go kill him. So in looking for him, he finds him stuck in a fucking snowdrift, and he's obviously dead. His guts have been ripped out by a bear. So he starts dragging the body off, because when he saw that his guts were ripped out, he took off his robe, and he saw that the guy was tattooed with a map. This was one of the prisoners that the guy tattooed. Basically, this leads to kind of a circle jerk of he's walking with the corpse, because now he's got a piece of the map and he needs money, and he runs into a bear, because a bear fucking killed this guy. He runs into a bear, and with the help of some small girl, he kills the bear, like some small hunter girl. He kills the bear, and you basically find out that this girl is one of the Ainu. He kills the bear, and the girl's like, "It's weird. This bear shouldn't be eating yet. Like, their stomach shrinks during hibernation. They can't eat for a while after they wake up." And she cuts open the bear, and she pulls out its stomach, and she's like, "Look, this is empty. This wasn't this bear. It was probably a matakarip, which is a bear that hasn't hibernated, and so it's very angry and dangerous. And even more so, according to Ainu legend, once a bear gets the taste for human flesh, once it realizes that that which it feared is actually weak, it will keep eating humans, especially in the scarce wintertime. And in Hokkaido, it's more or less mostly wintertime. It's a fairly northern country, or piece of the country of Japan. So they set a trap for the Matakarip. They basically light a fire and plan to stake out all night and hope that they don't have to fight the thing until the morning. But of course, they end up having to fight it, because they can't just run off with the body, because apparently the Matakarip will just, like, you can't steal its food. It will track down its food. It wants its food. Taking that body back to a village is dooming the entire village. So they need to wait out here and kill it. The bear comes back, chases our boy Sugimoto. He's saved by the Ainu lady, and eventually the bear like ends up charging at Sugimoto, and he pretty much like waits for this thing to fall on top of him, bracing his gun against the ground. His gun, which has a fucking, what's it called? The knife on the front of the gun, whatever that's called. Oh, it starts with a B. A bayonet. A bayonet. The gun's got a bayonet, so he braces the gun against the ground and basically has the bear fall on top of him. And he turns out, of course, he's fine. And the Ainu's like, that's actually like a traditional Ainu, like a very brave and stupid technique to kill a bear used by the Ainu people. How did you know of it? And he's like, I didn't. My body just like kind of reacted. Of course, when the bear's charging at him too, he's like, I'm the immortal Sugimoto. You think you can kill me? And at some point, a dog shows up, a wolf shows up to help the Ainu when she's kind of semi-cornered. But basically, on the screen, you have the dude, Sugimoto Saichi, the immortal Sugimoto, and the girl, Asripa. And basically, she doesn't want to kill people. Like, it's not the Ainu way to kill people. And so she refuses to eat the meat of the bear that ate a person, because that is just as bad as killing someone. But she wants revenge for her father. Or she would love to have revenge for her father, who was among the people carrying the gold that the Japanese guy stuck in prison killed, and then hid that gold, and then made the map, and so on and so forth. And so Sugimoto's like, okay, you will help me hunt down the people who have the map pieces, and we will find the gold. I need money. You want revenge for your father, I'm sure. If we find the gold, I'm sure that that guy in prison is still alive. They wouldn't kill him without having the gold. He's their meal ticket. So, if we find the gold, then they'll kill him. You don't have to get your hands dirty at all. I will kill all the people. Because the way these maps are tattooed on the guys, they're literally a full front and back torso tattoo. And they're disjointed in the center of the chest, because that's how you skin something. You slice down the middle of the chest and kind of like pull the skin off like a vest by like, cutting the connective tissue between the skin and the actual meaty torso. And so it's very clear that these people were tattooed to be killed and skinned by the dude in prison's comrades. And so yeah, that's where it ends. He's like, you help me find these people. I will kill and skin them. We will have a complete map, find the gold. The guy in prison will be useless and killed by the guards. You'll get your revenge, I'll get my money, and I don't even want all the money. I just want a small share so that I can help out my best friend's wife. Widow. I think it's a very interesting story. Um, it's got just the right amount of like, it's historical, and it seems like it's going to be interesting. And with the inclusion of the Ainu people, which are fairly unknown, at least to me, and I don't know how accurate this story will be to their actual beliefs and stuff. But it gives that area of like, this is 100 plus years ago with a culture that I don't really understand. So like, there can be all sorts of weird semi supernatural things that they do, weird beliefs they have, weird rituals they do, or whatever that could give this story like some added intrigue. So I'm definitely gonna watch this, and I know I've said that about a number of anime, and I will be doing like a spring 2018 wrap up where I actually say these are the anime I'm going to watch. These are the anime I was willing to watch, but I don't really want to spend the time on. These are the anime I suggest you don't watch. So look forward to that if you care about my opinion at all. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna watch this. I suggest you watch it too. The art's good. I think story's interesting. It's something I haven't seen dealt with before. Post Russo-Japanese War shit in Hokkaido. I'm sure it'll be interesting. If not, I'm sure the manga's interesting. If I've seen it around long enough and it's got an adaptation, so I'll just read that if the anime sucks. That's about it. Peace out.